Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a simple question for each of you. Do you acknowledge and recognize that the magnitude and the nature of efforts undertaken by the Russians to interfere in our elections last year constitute an existential and material threat to the health of our democracy? Mr. Edgett.
We recognize not only that, but also obviously a threat to all of our platforms.
Mr. Stretch.
Yes.
Well, the activity that we saw on our platforms was very limited, so we're not in a position to make the broader view. To take a broader view, we defer to the view of this committee ultimately when you take a look at the whole picture.
You do not acknowledge that it represents an existential...
Certainly any effort by any foreign actor to interfere with American electoral integrity is a significant and material problem, absolutely.
So, two things occur to me with respect to that, and thank you. The first of which is that the actions that follow ought to be correspondingly significant to your acknowledgement that our very democracy has been threatened and will be threatened going into the future. Because as the IC has said, it ain't over. And as I said earlier, they're still in our House. I would use that as an opportunity to reiterate my call, Mr. Castro's call, and Mr. Schiff's call for you to work together to fully reveal and disclose the nature and depth of this, and to come forth with continuing recommendations about how it is that we can arm ourselves and prevent this in the future. And the second thing I want to point out that I think it's important that you hear is kind of the irony of all this. You represent three of the best of traditions of American entrepreneurialism. You were all born here, not you individually, but your companies. You flourished here. And unless you want to be a part of the kleptocracy dancing to the tune of the autocrat Vladimir Putin, which I am invoking both literally and figuratively, I do hope that your actions coming out of this day match what you have acknowledged as the seriousness of this threat. Truly, our very way of life is at risk. And just as truly, you have a critical role in safeguarding that. And I hope you will. With that, I yield back.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Spear, 5 minutes.
Thank you again for being here. Just for the record, can you each tell us